Hello.
Oh,
Welcome to
welcome.
Friday Night Live, guys. It is so good to be back here with you again. I've got Wendy with me.
Hello.
Hi, Wendy.
Yay. So
Yay.
good to see you guys.
It is so good to see everyone. We had so much fun last week, and we are really excited to see what tonight is going to bring. We've got some really fun things planned. We have some things that we want to share with you guys. We've got our musical guests back tonight, and we're also really excited because we are going to be doing open share tonight, which is really awesome. But I'm already getting into stuff that I'm supposed to talk about later. Wendy, so last week we talked about the meme of the week that I thought was really hilarious, and it was all about what our coworkers at home were doing. And so I have been loving all of the memes that I'm seeing online, and I would love to share some with you. Would you be cool with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay,
Awesome.
awesome. So,
I just make
I just
myself
make
laugh
myself laugh
looking at these memes.
looking at these memes.
Okay,
Okay,
what I'm
so
gonna
what I'm
do
gonna
is
do is I'm gonna just share a
and
meme, and it all started because last week Chris
just
and I were just
chit-chatting
chit-chatting about how much
we
we
both
both needed
needed
haircuts. And so this week my memes are all dedicated to the fact that we're all gonna need to get a haircut and we won't be able to. So my first meme,
Here you go.
here you go.
I know you're bored, but do not cut your own bangs. Oh my gosh. This makes me so happy.
I've totally cut my own bangs before, but I go for the swoosh.
Me too.
And
And Wendy, you have bangs, so
please.
I'll be careful.
Okay.
Good. Meme number two. Okay, we're coming into week four.
Hi. Sorry.
This just makes me so happy. Because it's totally Jim Carrey on a sloth.
Okay.
Anyways, so guys, next week is like week four of the quarantine, you realize. So if you happen to cut your own bangs, please send us a picture to our email if this is what you do. Okay, Wendy, this last one. It's obviously a little more age appropriate because I'm not going to lie, I never even thought that I would have this issue ever in my life. And then I turned 40 and things changed. So here's my final meme.
No.
Should I read it out loud?
Just for
fun. After 30 days of lockdown, everyone should post pics of your mustache. All the men you guys can jump into.
Okay. Sorry. I hope that this isn't offensive to anybody.
These just made my heart swell. We are going to keep finding some funny memes. There are some hilarious ones out there. So we're going to do this little meme of the week every week. And guys, we totally forgot. Wendy, I totally forgot to say, we want to know where you guys are coming from and who's watching. And so we are, send us your name, like say hello, throw up a like. Tell us where you're from so that we can be connecting with you guys and chit-chatting throughout the evening. Wendy, do you want to just give us some, like, I don't even know what the word is that we're supposed to do next.
We're actually going to go and worship. So we are going to listen to Chris and Joy lead us again through some worship. And then we'll come back and chat with you some more.
Brilliant.
Hey everyone, welcome. We're so glad that you're here. It's so good to be with you. We're going to do a little bit of worship tonight, and we're very excited to worship with you wherever you happen to be. There's a verse in Psalm 150 that says, "Let everything that has breath praise the Lord." Tonight, that's me, that's you. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, let's take a few minutes and praise our amazing God who gave us this breath. give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will say, great are you, Lord. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Great are you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you so much, Joy and Chris, for worshiping with us tonight. We love having you guys as part of Friday Night Live. So you've probably noticed that we have had a few little technical issues tonight. We are still learning this new software, guys. So thank you for your grace as we just figure this all out. I'm new to this whole world, Wendy. I know you're new to a lot of it too. So we're going to start over with a couple things, and yeah, Wendy, why don't you just go through some of those little bits of information?
Yeah, let's do that. We love that we get some grace here. But we are glad that we can laugh about it, and that it's going to be it's going to be a great night.
Absolutely.
So we are going to remind you, if you are new here, you haven't jumped on Friday Night Live before, that you can send an email to cr@creeksidechurch.ca and let us know that you're listening. And Jen or I will get back to you and just let you know more about CR and answer any of the questions that you have. As well, if you have any prayer requests or anything that you'd like to chat with us about, that is an email address that you can use as well. Again, that was cr@creeksidechurch.ca. Tonight, Jen mentioned that we're going to do the open share groups tonight. And so If you haven't already sent us an email and you're in the KW area and you're coming to Creekside or Lincoln Road Chapel, then send an email to that address, and we will get an email with a Zoom link to you so that you can join us tonight. And that we'll open up that as soon as we're done here at Friday Night Live. I think, Jen, one other thing. Last week we had so much fun doing some celebrating. There was some medallions that were celebrated last week. And so we just want to encourage you. We'd like to do shout outs to you beforehand if you care to send us again to the email address if you're celebrating, and then we can make sure we know that in advance. But yeah, in the comments, we want you guys to be chatting. You guys did a really great job at doing that last week, chatting with each other. And we've got some information from some people saying that they saw someone in chat and they ended up going out and doing a Zoom coffee with them and stuff. So we're excited for the connections that you guys are making, and that we get to be here with you on Friday nights. It sure doesn't, it's not the same as being with you at Creekside or Lincoln Road, but we're glad that we can be here with you via whatever we're doing, live, Facebook Live. I am so not technical, but we're glad you're here. So
Absolutely.
Jen's going to start us off in our But Why God?
Yeah.
Thanks, Jen.
This is our little talk time. Thanks, Wendy, for running through all those things. It is really cool to see the community that is happening in the little chat bubble, and as Wendy said, the things that are happening. So we want to encourage you guys to keep that community going. We are a little, as we figure things out, we don't necessarily have the ability to chat along with you guys. So we would love to do shout outs. I saw some of you who are here again, and Mike, I haven't seen you yet, but we're glad to see you on here. And so just good to see Melanie and Roy and Rick and Joe and a lot of our usual faces. So welcome, guys. Good to have you. But yeah, we apologize that we can't be commenting along as we go tonight, but we're just going to keep getting better, right? Wendy, this is the best thing about this is that we can just keep messing it up and keep doing it better the following week. So, and not that it's messing up because we're still here. So tonight in our little talk time, the question what we want to talk about is, but why God? And this is something that I think we can all relate to on so many different levels, especially in this season of COVID-19, right? There are so many questions, there are so many unknowns, and we have moments, and I'm sure you have had moments, just like I've had moments, Wendy's had moments where we're just like, God, like, why is this happening? We don't understand. And so as we look, we just want to explore a little bit more of this tonight. And it's really so true that in times of crisis like this can be one of the questions that comes up a whole lot more. And this can be oftentimes in crisis, we can become either more engaged with God or more disengaged with God. And it's one of those times where we just start saying, why is this happening? Why did I lose my job? Why, but why God, but why? All sorts of different questions. And what's really fascinating about this, because everything feels out of control, we want to do anything we can, right? To just kind of grab some strings and tether some control back into our life. And so one of the ways that we do that is by this little word, but, right? It's this little conjunction that kind of brings two opposing thoughts together. So there's kind of one thought that we start out communicating, but we finish with a different thought. And one of the things that, sorry, as I'm going to my notes here, I want to give you guys a few examples of how maybe you've heard a but used in your life, maybe not in this particular season, maybe in past seasons. But as a lot of you know, if you know me, I've recently cut my hair, and legitimately somebody came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, Jen, I love your haircut, but like your personality really suits long hair." And I was like, "Oh, was that a compliment? Did they like my hair or not?" Right? It left me really confused. Or maybe you've heard something like this: "Oh, you did such a great job mowing the lawn, but I usually leave it just a little bit longer when I do it." or
thank you
oh,
so
thank
much
you
for
so
washing
much
the
for washing the
dishes,
dishes,
but
but
I
I
had
had
to
to
rewash
rewash
some of
some of
them
them
because
because
they
they
were
were
still a
still a
little
little
dirty.
dirty. Or
Well,
I'm really sorry that I gossiped about you. But I kind of walked into a conversation where people were already talking about you, and it just was kind of awkward. Um, or maybe like, oh my goodness, good for you. You got a B plus on your test. But if I wonder if maybe you started studying earlier, like I suggested, maybe you could have gotten an A. Um, or even just in light of COVID, right? It's so great to have the whole family home right now in our house, but it'd be really nice if you guys could just pitch in a little bit more. So, we start out with something really positive, but we turn it into something more negative or with that confusing undertone. And it can be really easy for me to want to butt other people, right? Like I've totally done an apology where I've gone to someone and said, like, I'm really sorry, but, and then I give my excuse for why I did what I did. Or I know that it really hurt you when I did this, but whatever, whatever. And so I keep wanting to just make excuses and justify certain things. And in this season of doubt, it can be really hard to trust God in this season. And so, as I said, I'm going to do everything I can to just grab at some control. One of my own examples is I'm really struggling in this season of there's a lot of loss. And I actually have two jobs. And my other job has kind of ended completely. I'm self-employed, and it was a non-essential business. And so it's been really hard for me. I've really had to work through this wrestling with God to say, yeah, but God, and I want to try and take control of it. And, financial recovery has been a huge part of my recovery journey. And so I know in my head that God is going to use this time to really sharpen me and refine me. But man, it is so easy for me to want to butt God and to want to try and understand the why, and to want to make excuses, and to try and do what I can to feel like I have some control. And so my question for you guys is, what are some things that you're butt Godding and that you're trying to take that control of because there's fear? Yeah. So what are you butt Godding right now? Here's the beautiful thing. Anytime we want to butt, we can really take this opportunity. And as much as there's so many negative things going on right now, God really gives us an opportunity to shift some of those negative butts into something more positive. And so, Wendy, why don't you just expand on that a little bit and share?
Sure, Jen. Some of what Jen was saying I didn't hear, so I may say some things that are overlapping a little bit. But if we kind of stayed on course a little bit, I get to talk about I'm a question kind of gal. I ask myself a lot of questions to try to get to a place of understanding. And so and it frustrates some people. I'm going to be honest, it does frustrate some people. But I'm going to use a few questions just to kind of guide us through tonight. So sometimes I know that we can have this kind of silver lining kind of experience where we want to say, but it'll be okay, or like just glossing it over. And but I'm going to ask this, are we then being honest with God? And so I want to reframe it and say, but God, in that He is our answer, not kind of the, okay, but God, like, why is it like this? So I just want to reframe it as, but God, He is our answer. So how do I take everything to God? And recently I've been practicing this, and just simply by pausing and saying, I give everyone and everything to you, God. Because sometimes I can get pretty overwhelmed and pretty, just frustrated, and sometimes frustrated with God. So I have to learn how I can go and I give that back to God. because he can take that. He's a big boy. He can take it. So I also started to ask, have I given much thought about having a humble posture? I believe that I need to turn and that I need to take action. And I know if you've been around for a while, you've heard that a few times. They're the lessons that we have. We turn and then we take action. So I need to ask myself, am I choosing to commit all my life and will to Christ's care and control? That means everything. It's not just the things that I want to. It's not the things that are easy for me to give to him. It's my thoughts, my actions, my emotions, my decisions, everything and everyone. I have to be willing to give that to God. And I'm going to be honest, earlier this week on Monday, I was feeling really, really frustrated. And I was saying to God, I trust you, but why are you allowing COVID? And that was the situation. And it could be anything. Why are you allowing my kids to struggle? Why are you allowing whatever it is? But in this situation on Monday, it was like, why are you allowing COVID to continue? I don't get it, and I don't like it. And at this point, I needed to make a decision. What was I going to do, and how was I going to act and react to these feelings? And so I had to decide that I was going to give my emotions to God and my thoughts. And in this case, there was a lot of anger, there was frustration, there was some grief mixed in there, and there was unbelief. Essentially, I had to have an honest conversation with him. This time I did it through prayer, but I've often also done it through journaling when I've just not been able to, it just seems easier sometimes for me to sit down and do it through journaling. So essentially, I had to learn to come, be honest. He wants me to be honest. He wants all of us to be honest with him. He wants us to engage in conversation. And I've heard it said many times, when I don't feel like going to him, or I don't feel like praying, that's probably when I really need to be doing it. And then once I've done that, then I need to choose to submit to his will. And that's hard. That's hard for me sometimes, because sometimes that really does mean, and I'm a control kind of gal. So submitting to his will sometimes is hard, but I've seen the fruit of being able to do it. And so, again, I need to take everything to him. Then I need to submit to his will, and I need to accept his timing, which I don't always like. Like I would like to see COVID gone today. I would like to see my kids following Jesus today. Sometimes I just don't like his timing, but I know and I'm confident that his timing is perfect. And then I need to trust his goodness. He is good. And I was so thankful this week. I'm going to share this. This week I got up one morning and I learned what we did from last week, because you don't teach something and then I'll have to learn it. So we talked about routines and habits last week. And so I decided that I was going to do a routine. And so I got up at my normal time. That was part of my routine. And I got up and God gave me this song, and I haven't heard it in so long, but it was, God, you're an awesome God. And he knew. I hadn't heard that song anywhere. I didn't get up and think, well, I wonder what song I should think of today. So it was just cool that I went through that whole day going, God, you're an awesome God. So I had both of these feelings of, oh, I don't get this, God, but yet, man, I know you're awesome. And so I just lived and trusted in his goodness. And we always, I think, like Jen was saying, we can always, after that but, say, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful that God is faithful, that he's good, that he's kind, that he fills me with joy and peace and love, and that he is so trustworthy. And so when we know that we can start to say these things, the whys just, to me, they seem to dissipate a little bit, because I believe him. I know that I need him. I will come and sit with him, and I will cling to his truth and his promises. And I was reading this while I was going through this, because when I was wrestling through this frustration with God, I came across again Psalms 86:15, and it said, "But you, Lord, are a compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness." And you know what? he doesn't change. He doesn't change if I choose not to go to him or with I go to him. His reactions and who he is stays the same. And that to me is so encouraging, especially in a time where there's so much uncertainty around the world. And yet we can go into God's word and there's just so much truth. So that's all I got for you. I do have a question, though. I'm going to remember to say this. And the question that we will do in our open share, an online open share, is what things are you but Godding right now? That is, what things are you but Godding right now? And now, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to head into some worship.
Yeah. Thank
you to Chris and Joy.
Yeah. Thanks, Wendy, so much. That was some really great truth. And I loved that the scripture that you used started with but was just very appropriate. It's almost like you did that on purpose. But yeah, really, really cool. So yeah, let's listen to Joy and Chris again as they lead us in another worship song.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's been great being with you. Let's raise our voices together wherever we are and worship one more time to this great God that we serve who loves us so much.
Oh
you so much for worshiping with us tonight. Good night, everyone.
Thank you so
much, Chris and
Joy,
Joy, our musical guests, for worshiping with us tonight. And I'm not going to lie, guys, it was really nice to not be in the little corner, having to have everybody watch me sing and worship this week.
Oh, so we are so glad that you guys joined us. And we want to just again remind you about our online open share group for our regular groups. And just send your information to cr@creeksidechurch.ca, including your name and your contact information. And let us know if you're part of Lincoln Road or Creekside. And also, again, if you are new and maybe you've just come on and you don't know anything about CR at all, or Celebrate Recovery, I should use that. I shouldn't always use CR. Then do send us an email and we will get back to you, and we can do what's called CR 101 or Celebrate Recovery 101 with you, and let you know more about what CR is and how you can continue to get connected. And also, I just want to remind all of you that you guys are doing a great job with your comments. And I just read one, and Angela says, "I missed your worship face, Jen." So I catch a few. We only get about 3 or 4 on our screens at a time. But there's been some funny ones. I saw some about pride, and someone saying maybe, and it was like, that's just it's cool. Anyway, if you have any prayer requests or any physical needs, or you're needing to just connect with someone, send a message to us, and we will make sure you do get connected with. And we want to, I'm going to give it to Jen, because I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to cover. So she's got my back.
Well,
and I about her.
We totally have each other's backs. That's the beautiful thing about this, Wendy. And I just want to say that for those of you if you haven't sent us information about Open Share, we have had to close that off. We can only do so many emails, and so unfortunately, it's not going to work out tonight. So make sure if you want to be part of it next week that you get on that right away. So send us an email tonight, and we will get you the link for next Friday. But we're excited to be able to have these. So when we finish up here tonight, make sure if you've got the link for Zoom, get over onto Zoom right away so that we can start getting you guys into your breakout rooms for Open Share. If you are in your step study and doing whatever else tonight, that is awesome. Last week, we heard somebody telling us that they went and had this really great cafe time with their family in their house. And so we love seeing all of this community that's happening. As Wendy said, the comments that we're seeing coming in on Facebook, we're just going to keep getting better and better at how we do this. But have cafe tonight with somebody. If phone a friend. If you're not a part of our Open Share group tonight or a step study, connect with somebody and send a quick chat and have a little cup of tea on Zoom with somebody tonight, or FaceTime, or whatever that looks like. But do cafe. We want to start bringing in a few of these elements of recovery every week. And last week we had a couple of people actually ask us to do the Serenity Prayer. So we are going to finish off our time tonight with the Serenity Prayer. So if you want to stand up and say it out loud from your couch. And with that, we are going to sign off and say goodbye as we head off to Open Share now. But we will see all of you guys next week for Friday Night Live, same time, same couch. And we hope you have a super week, and we'll see you then.
See you next week. Have a great
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as the pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Trusting that He will make all things right if I surrender to His will. That I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with Him forever in the next. Amen.